Charles Leclerc. He just secured 5th in the Drivers' Championship, just losing out to Fernando Alonso on equal points due to having more higher positions in races. He also recently has been dominating his teammate Carlos Sainz in the last few races. However, many would say he has been the most unlucky driver this season. Now, with the season over, I have one question that I've been thinking, and I'm gonna find out if it is true. And that question is, without Charles Leclerc's bad luck, would he have beaten Lewis Hamilton to that P3 in the Drivers' Championship? Let's find out. Now, obviously, take this video with a pinch of salt, due to the fact a few of the races I'm about to say, I give him the benefit of the doubt. I actually tried to be more cautious than I probably would have been. But, of course, when you don't finish in that position in a race, saying, oh, he would have finished there, we'll just never know. So, the first mistake that was not his fault was, of course, the first race in Bahrain. Now, he was running smoothly in P3 until lap 41, his car, he just lost power. Basically, DNFing out of the race, and that would have been an easy P3. And this is one of the only races where I can happily say he would have finished P3. He had a massive gap to Sainz, who did lose out to Alonso. However, the gap, Alonso wouldn't have been able to catch up to Leclerc in time. So that is 15 points already that Leclerc should have had this season. Now, mistake number 2 was the first of the Ferrari strategic fuck-ups, I would like to say, and that was in Monaco. Now, this is where Ferrari just left both Sainz and Leclerc out when it was pissing it down. They needed to come in when basically everyone else came into the pits. However, they didn't, and I believe being very cautious. Now, you could even argue that he could have finished higher. I believe he missed out to a position on Russell. Because Russell had a moment in the rain, I believe if Leclerc had pitted at the correct time, beating Russell in that race, which would have given him 5th, which would have been an extra 2 points he would have received in the championship fight. Mistake number 3 was in Great Britain, Silverstone. Now, the mistake, again, another Ferrari strategic masterclass. They pitted Leclerc way too early, which first of all just wasn't working out for them. They lost quite a few positions, but then even that, they got fucked up over by the safety car. So technically it's sort of bad luck on Leclerc's half and a bad call from Ferrari. Now, where do I think they would have finished? It's hard to say for this one, considering there was 2 major factors, one earlier in the race, one later in the race, but I believe he would have been beaten by Verstappen, Norris, Piastri, Hamilton, Russell, and he would have been caught up by Perez. But I believe he could have beaten Alonso for that 6th place, giving them an extra 4 points in that fight. Now, 4th mistake in the season was in Hungary, and this was another Ferrari masterclass. However, it wasn't strategic this time, it was pit stop wise. It was infamous. It was a 9.4 second pit stop in Hungary. I very much believe that this cost him the position to Russell, because even with that 5-second penalty, if he had that extra 9 seconds, it wouldn't have affected him. And of course, that meant another 2 points deducted from him. So it would have been an extra 2 points if this did not happen to him. Now, moving on to the 5th mistake, you can see there's quite a few. This is why people have been saying Leclerc got very unlucky, and it was in Kota, of course, in Austin. Now, this one, whose fault was it? I guess I could put the blame on Ferrari because the car was illegal, but also unlucky for Leclerc. He must have just been riding curbs too much, or maybe Ferrari screwed up their setup. So I believe, again, if he didn't get DNF'd and got that 6th place, that would have been another 8 points to his championship fight. And you can see these points are starting to add up. And then finally, his last mistake of the season was in Brazil, where the Ferrari car just did not work. He was in the formation lap and he had to stop the car. Now, it's hard to say with this one, again, like Silverstone, because it happened so early on in the race. Well, the race hadn't even started yet. But I believe with being cautious, benefit of the doubt, Verstappen and Norris beat him. He wouldn't have beaten Verstappen. Maybe he would have beaten Norris because he was starting in 2nd, and the Ferrari did look okay. But let's just say with Lando being P2 and Leclerc P3, because I do believe if he was racing, he would have been faster than Alonso, and Alonso was keeping Perez at bay. So that's another 15 points that were taken off Leclerc. Now, those points altogether are 48 points. That's a fuck ton in F1. Considering he had 206 points overall, that's almost a quarter of his points he got throughout the season. So it is a big shame to see how unlucky he was. Now, with those added extra points, I think you can already tell he would have ended on 254 points, which would have comfortably beat Lewis Hamilton for that third place. Hooray! Leclerc has third place. However, I know what you're saying, but Zach, surely Lewis Hamilton has had points in a season where he's been unlucky, so surely you should give him the benefit of the doubt as well. So let's have a look at Lewis Hamilton's mistake that weren't his fault and add them onto his tally and see if Leclerc still comes out in third place. And luckily for me, because I didn't have to do much, Hamilton didn't have that many mistakes that weren't his fault. Now, I actually should have said in Leclerc's bit that I'm not counting the Dutch Grand Prix because of how chaotic it was. I have no means of knowing where anyone was going to come in that race. And realistically, the only mistake Hamilton had all season that wasn't his fault was Cota again. He was another car that got disqualified from the race and he lost out on 18 points. Now, again, I'm not counting Qatar because that was Hamilton's fault, so that means he doesn't deserve the points. It's like how I haven't counted Australia for Leclerc because he crashed out and I think it was more of Leclerc's fault / a racing incident. So you can sort of tell where I'm giving points and not giving points. So with those extra 18 points, Hamilton's 234 points, he would have ended on 252 points. And now, if you remembered Leclerc's points, I'll show them both on the screen now. Leclerc would have beat Hamilton out by 2 points, which would have been an insane way to end the season. A battle for third in the Drivers' Championship. Oh my god, what a way it would have gone. However, this video has been fun to make, and technically, estimating what would have happened if Leclerc didn't get unlucky, plus if Hamilton didn't get unlucky, even when the both, Leclerc still comes out on top. Now, I'm not taking away from what Hamilton did this season, because consistency is key in F1, and of course, if the Ferrari car is just DNFing, it's not Hamilton's fault it happened, so he did deserve that third place. So, like I've said at the start of this video, take this video with a pinch of salt, but it is so interesting to see that Leclerc could have got third. And I don't think anyone's actually spoken about this. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, but I haven't seen anywhere anyone tallying up seeing if Leclerc could have beaten Hamilton to that third place. I mean, he definitely would have got that fourth from Alonso. But anyway, comment down below, what do you think? Do you think Leclerc would have got that third place if he wasn't so unlucky? Do you think that would have made Ferrari come second in the Constructors very easily with much less of a fight? Comment down below. But anyway, love you all. I'll see you all in the next video, and I hope you enjoyed this one. Bye bye.